Speaking of international stage, let's talk about Japan. Motegi, one of my favorite tracks. Marquez did his thing, won the championship. I don't know what the big that is the biggest news. It is one of the biggest comebacks that we can talk about. The only thing come close is Grant Hill, because Grant was hurt for many years
Kim,
before he
Kim
was able to.
Kardashian had a comeback.
Come on, man. This is not that kind of show.
I mean, Cameron
in,
Bobby
in
had a
that
comeback.
Listen.
You
That's the
say Tiger
problem.
Woods.
Kim always has a comeback. That's the problem. So,
in that one video, shit.
so we'll leave it there. But it's still one of the biggest comebacks out there for Marquez, because um, he had a lot of surgeries in 4 years, and maybe some other riders may have retired, and he took a gamble. We've been kind of talking all year that it was his to lose. Did he live up to the hype? Did he win by too much and made it kind of boring? What are your thoughts, TJ?
I mean, no, he actually made it really exciting because when he first got on Ducati last year, everyone was just ready for him to start winning, and he gave a little glimpse. But once he got that factory seat, we kind of already knew. We just had to prove it, but we didn't think it was going to be like this. I mean, I've been watching Mark for a little bit and really got into racing a few years ago, but like for what his comebacks, for his injuries, and to just smoke people the way he did so far, um, and get the championship, and like he can actually just focus on next year. Like he doesn't like have to do anything else. Like he got the title, and he still can probably add to. I don't know. He still can get points and add to this run he's on. So very impressive, and still excited to see uh, the races that we have left. There's still some cool tracks, and
All right.
Wategi is a cool track as well. So
Yeah, no doubt. Reese, what are your thoughts? Like Cam, Mark did something pretty special. How does that rank for you as far as you've been around the motorcycle racing for a while? We all said he was, not all of us. I was probably still on the fence, in denial myself. But what are your thoughts on what Mark did, and getting his seventh GP title in this way? Because, like I said, this is something like Mike Tyson coming back and fighting, Ali coming back after going to jail and all that. There's a lot of riders that could have just said, "Hey, man, I got enough money. I can live off my Red Bull check," and he decided to go get his arm broken again, and he went to Minnesota to do it, of all places, and and look where he's at now.
I mean, honestly, I said it. I said this last year, and I told a couple of friends of mine, I said, if this man gets on a red bike, it's pretty much going for second and third. You're not going for first. The way he showed his pace the first year being on the satellite bike, that just told me he gets on a factory bike with all the new equipment, the factory specs, is you're pretty much going to race for second or third. But to see him come back after all the injuries, I mean, I was actually rooting for him. I've been a Rossi fan for a long time, but to actually root for him and to see him come back from those injuries and with actually thinking about calling it quits, I mean, it's something short of phenomenal. So it's actually congratulations to him, and it was something nice to see. I mean, from start to finish. I mean, what, from maybe like the sixth round after winning? Like this kind of one man show right now. You're pretty much just coming. We all come to say we're coming to the track to win, but at this point in time, with somebody like that, you're just coming to see if I can finish second.
Right. Lewis, what are your thoughts, man? There's a lot of Marquez ads out there.
I mean, I have to tip my hat to the man. 125. I mean, I saw him race when he was in the CEV. It's an amazing story from beginning to end. Everything he has been, the competitor he's been since the day he arrived on the circuit in 125. The rider that he's evolved into, the talent that he's evolved into. I mean, we're all fans, so we're going to look at it from a fan's perspective. I would say the true measure of a champion is how your contemporaries look at you and how your contemporaries speak about you.
Hmm.
And it was really great. One, to see all the other riders when asked about the accomplishment, all of them said more or less the same thing in their own way. This is an incredible thing. If you think about where he was just 6 years ago, if you think about everything he's been through, you know, most other riders would have given up. Most other riders would have been retired.
Hmm.
Even in the documentary that they have for Mark Marquez going through his surgeries, even his own family were like, you got enough money, why you don't need to race. You have this, you have that. Like there's a video going now that directly from that documentary where Marquez sits down with his grandfather, who is no longer with us, and he's asking his grandfather, will you give me a blessing to do this? If I do this one surgery and they fix it, I can go race again. And his father's like, his grandfather, I mean, it pretty much tells him, you have more than enough money. You don't need to do this anymore. If you ask me, I'll say no. But it doesn't matter what I fucking say because you're still gonna not do what you want to do. But if you ask me, I say no. And Marquez is like, no. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do this surgery and I'll give it one last shot. And everything he's went through, and again, all the contemporaries, man, all the other riders have all said the same thing. This is an incredible thing. This is an unbelievable comeback. There's never been something like this before in motorsports. Like, yeah, Rossi came back from a broken leg. A lot of people are coming back from broken legs. Doohan came back from a destroyed leg so bad that they sold his left leg to his right leg so that they could circulate fresh blood to try to heal the broken leg with the good leg.
Right.
So we've seen riders come back from some crazy things, but this here, break your arm, it gets set incorrectly. So you volunteer to get your arm broken again to try to get it set correctly. You leave a team that's paying you millions and not just a couple, tens of millions of dollars to go to a satellite team because you're looking for that competitive advantage to get back to the top. Like this dude has done everything possible to grab that trophy again, man. And now I think between now and the end of the year, I think he's gonna set a new a challenge for himself. I really think he's gonna try to reach that 600 point plateau. Put that point bar so high that it might never get reached, man. Maybe that we'll never see somebody hit 600 points again, and it's out there. It's available to him. He could do it.
Well, well, well,
Um,
well, well. Listen, wait a minute now, Rondell.
He can do it
Um,
again. He
we
just
we
beat his
saw
own record.
we saw they figured out Pecco's bike all of a sudden. So, I
Oh
mean,
no.
I don't know, if, if it's a one off or but the rest of the season, I don't
Hey,
know if it's going to be that easy for Mark. What are your thoughts on
bro,
the fact that Pecco did what he did this weekend and everybody?
it, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, man. So I'm getting that out there. But anybody else gets out
it,
there, that sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
even a broken
Even
clock could
Joe.
grab once a day.
So you think it's a one off, and it's still because for a guy to ride like that, is it all mental?
One, it is mental. Yes, I mean a lot of it's mental. If the bike is working properly, then yeah, because a lot of times the bike will work properly, and then it won't be. It'll just be the rider. So I mean, it could be a little bit of both. We don't know. I mean, nobody knows on that side. It's like I mean, going on that side of like damn near Fort Knox. They won't give up their secrets. Um, so I mean, we'll never know.
Right.
But you know, yeah, it's a one. It could be a one time. It may not know. I mean, we started. I watched the race, and I started seeing the bike start smoking.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I know I did see the man back there, Mark, reeling his behind end. So a couple more laps, we might not have this conversation right now.
But Mark did struggle a little bit in some of them laps.
The great ones always struggle, but they figure out they find a way to turn up.
All right, all right. TJ, one off.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I, I feel like it's a one-off because, like, I feel like Pecco by this point would have performed a lot better. I can't just see that this race. I mean, don't want to throw in another manufacturer, but Jawan Mir got a fourth in the sprint and got a podium in the GP. So like, that's a one-off too. So like, I don't know. There's just a situation. I really hope that Pecco can find his way though, and possibly finish top three at least, or top five for the rest of the year. So like,
Right.
actually say that he's back or figured something out actually and feel improvement. But I don't know. I just can't call it.
All
I feel
right.
like Mark is definitely going to try to set a record. Like, well, he's already set the record, get the 600 plateau mark, and he's probably going to try to beat his own record next year.
All right.
So it's going to be even
So,
tougher for Pecco.
yeah, it's gonna be. It'll be interesting to see. Numbers guy. There's Mark wins the title, gets on the podium, and there's a Honda on the podium as well. One, do you think if Mark was on a Honda this year, would he win the championship? Because if you say yes, that means he gave up a lot of dough to get this championship because the Honda is looking good. We haven't brought up Jorge Martin, with the broken collarbone. So I'm pretty sure you want to touch on that. Took out his own teammate who helped him get into Q2, like the last round. I mean, like, is there just some one rider has to have bad juju in MotoGP? Like, what's going on, Lewis?
I mean, if Miguel Oliveira is in there, somebody got to pick up the slack. Somebody be like, yeah, I'm fucking somebody up this week. I mean, it's I don't even know. Like on the Jorge Martin thing, I don't even know what happened there. Like for me, if that's not a mechanical, if that's just rider error, that might be some of the dumbest shit that I've seen in 8, 9 years.
Yeah, from him, no
You,
doubt.
from him, from even in MotoGP, you always see some people crashing at turn one, but it's always like, kind of a low side, trying to get in the corner, making some contact. Not the bowling ball, man. Like this dude had the 7-9 split.
Bastianini did that in 2023. Was it
Yeah, that's what I'm
Bastianini?
saying. I haven't seen it in a couple years, but it's like at a certain, like, bro, you are at the top level, man. You're starting from a shitty spot because you don't have great pace. You ain't gonna make up 9 spots in the first corner. All you're gonna do is put yourself and your teammate. Now the entire factory team is out, man.
Yeah.
And as far as Honda, you guys, and I keep telling you, man, that home track half a second's a real thing. And even though Johan Mir is Spanish, that's a Honda track. Believe me, the guys that signed his check were like, yo, my man, we at the Honda track. We really like to see a Honda on the podium here. And, we'll slowly start to sign this check if you get it on the podium. Like, so it's, these, you get that extra incentive when you're there. I mean, dude, you got your bosses there. Any of you could say it. When your boss walks in, you look busy at work, right? Like, he's in front of his boss. He got to get busy.
Right, and I assume they've done enough laps at that track that their data is pretty good to make that bike go faster too.
Yeah, they've got massive data. If Mark was on that bike, if Mark had stayed with Honda, I don't even think Mark would still be in racing. Because if you look at the amount of crash, no, seriously, look at the amount of crashes the Hondas have had this year between Mir, Marini, and Zarco. I don't even know who the other
Some
guy
cat,
is because,
some cat.
yeah, dude, yeah, it is. I'm surprised he survived this long. Mark is going to crash just as much as those guys because he's only got one gear. So I'm still glad that Mark's not with that team because Mark's career would have got cut short and we would have missed out on this incredible run that he's having, this incredible comeback. So yeah, I'm Mark would probably not be at this race because he'd be retired with like 2 broken arms, broken collarbone, broken knees, like just from trying to survive the Honda.
That'll be the next documentary.
Yeah, dude, like how to how to survive Honda, directed by the same
Oh
people that
God!
directed How to Survive R. Kelly.
Oh shit! I'm
um,
done.
and then as far as the Pecco thing, I don't think it's a one-off because during the entire season, Pecco's been in that top 3, 4, 5. It's not like he's, I bust his balls, that when I'm not here to race for fourth or fifth, even though he has been, but he's still in the top 5. So it's not
Or
like he's,
21st.
I mean, he's had a couple of struggles here and there, but keen eyes, very keen eyes, noticed some significant differences between his bike and Mark's bike at this track.
Yep, a little bit.
So They made some changes to the bike. I don't know if they took, the rumor is they took some last year's bike and applied them to this year's bike and made some other changes in hopes of helping Pecco get his confidence back, get his mojo back. Is that going to help through the rest of the season? I mean, maybe. Maybe at this point, Mark's like, dude, I'll just finish second for the rest of the year. I got all my fat checks. If I finish second or third for the rest of the year, I'm still gonna make, all my money. I'm still gonna break the record for the highest points total. I'm still gonna do all this other stuff. I'll let some other guys win.
All right. Okay.
I feel bad for the other guys. Let them get some checks.
Let,
I
let,
got my
let,
brand new Lambo. I got this.
Yeah,
They gave me a
yep,
Lambo.
all right.
yep.
Let me throw out Alex Marquez to TJ and Reese, man, because he looked like he showed a little bit of nerves, which you wouldn't think so. You think that would have maybe started sooner, but I expect a little bit better racing out of him. But you think like overall is that a team thing? Because also Aldeguer struggled as well. What are your thoughts, TJ, on how Alex did? And also, you think he'll keep his second place to the end of the season?
Um, yeah, I definitely think he'll keep his second place. But I think it was probably a team issue. I mean, Alligator's definitely been showing more pace as the season was progressing. Lately, he's kind of been struggling a little bit. But same with Alex. He's been struggling, trying to stay up front. A couple crashes here and there. But I think this time it was probably more of like a team effort for as far as setup. And, it's just, I think Alex has one gear as well. Um, Trying to keep up with Mark and his pace, trying to improve. But, I think going forward, we probably have a better end of the season to keep that second place.
Right, right. What are your thoughts, Reese? The team a little bit they still recovering from his injury. What are your thoughts on Alex?
I mean, it could be a little bit of both. It could be a rider. It could be a team. Lewis knows this from being around the industry so long. A lot of riders think that they're riders, they're champions, and they also think that they're engineers. Um, so it could be Alex telling them, I need this, I need this. And they're like, you don't need this, you need this. And he's like, no, I need this. So it could be a little bit of both. Um, where a rider thinks he knows, but he really don't know. Um, but it could be the injury that's plaguing him. Still, sometimes these guys want to come back sooner than what's expected. They want to come back and race and win. It could be a team that they just kind of lost their way. So it could be numerous of things. But honestly, looking at the point spread and looking at everything, I believe he still hold second place. Especially just keep the bike upright, so you're still gaining points. As long as he stays in the points battle, so you're still gaining points, you're still gaining data, and figuring it out. But eventually, I think they'll figure out their way back. The best thing I tell them, the best thing see them doing is pretty much going back to what they had, because I'm pretty sure they got the data on what they did have and just go back to that, start from that setup, and go from there.
All right, that's what's up. I mean, before we jump into World Superbike, do we want to? We really really talk about KTM as much. I mean, Yamaha Quattararo. I mean, this man. Listen, man, he's a foreigner, but if he was trying to get into America, he'll figure out a way. Well, like not the yeah, they're kind of struggling a little bit over there, KTM and Yamaha. And any thoughts, DJ? Anything you want to
Uh,
point out?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say just just the setup. I think it's just they have been struggling lately. Um, Fabio is like the only one that's holding Yamaha down. So they've been struggling the whole year in my eyes. It's just he's been pulling out miracles, not miracles, but he's been putting in a lot of
No
work and
miracles.
effort.
No miracles.
No miracles. It was just more of a metaphor towards, it. But like he's been making keeping them relevant basically, and they're still struggling. Even they did a little test. KTM. I mean, like after 2 rounds ago when they were doing really well, um, and then losing chains the next week after. So yeah, they're still trying to find their way. So I think they're in a good spot though. KTM over Yamaha, but I
Hmm.
think Yamaha still has a lot of work to do.
All right. Anything that you want to add, Reese? I mean, I we did say miracle, but like TJ alluded to more. It should be hope, right? Because Quattararo is saying, "Look, this is what I can do with what I have. So give me something that I can really be more consistent."
Great man once told me once you lose hope, you gain faith. But at this point in time, I ain't got no damn faith. Shit, that's gone. Fuck. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, what TJ said. I mean, it's kind of like being modest, but I mean, he's pulling out. That's Houdini, man, pulling out a miracle out of that to sometimes to keep that Yamaha up there.
Yeah.
Um, to me, so I mean, hopefully they figure this out and figure that V4 out that they got, because they said it was. I mean, of course, it's a new prototype, it's new, so they got to figure everything out and get it running. They still got bugs and scenarios to work out, So I hope they do figure that out. KTM, I don't know what the fuck going on over there. I think they just broke, you know. uh, something going on. Maybe they broke. The bikes are broke. I don't know, man. It's just like Jesus Christ, man. Give some faith in this. It's long gone, but I don't know. I mean, hopefully they can figure it out. I mean, at some points in time they look great, and then sometimes they look spotty, and sometimes they're just like non-existent. I mean, they'll crash out. Bastianini's gone. This that. I
Hmm.
mean, I just don't know what's going on over there. It's like either the setup is wrong, tires is wrong for them, suspension, it's just chassis. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, it's tough. And they got a whole bunch of new money. I mean, I don't. I think they may have just done enough to kind of say we're not going to be worried the first year. But there's smarter people than us that are invested in these guys. So it can't look too good for KTM if it can't be a little bit more consistent. Consistent. Lewis, anything you want to add before we move over to World Superbike and talk about what Top Rock and Bulaga is doing and your boy
No,
Sam Lowe's?
no. I mean, the guys pretty much said everything. The only thing that I have to add to that is I've said that some of the tracks that are coming up are not going to be KTM friendly, and some of the tracks are not going to be Yamaha friendly. I mean, the two bikes that seem to be the most dialed in are the Ducati and the Aprilia. I mean, you could kind of see that in the performances. You would have seen it better if Martin didn't take out the entire team, but Aprilia bike is the only bike that consistently can compete with the Ducati at this point. All the other bikes have flashes of brilliance, and I think still the Honda is, even though people shit on it, I think the Honda is a little bit further along than the Yamaha because the Honda's been on a V motor for a long time.
Hmm.
So they're just developing from a point where they're already at. By Yamaha coming out with a V, they're kind of throwing up the signal that, we understand that this is what we need to do. Um, but now they also have a lot of work to do because now they're going to have to fix this. Now they're going to have to address what it takes to have a V motor, what chassis changes they have to do, what this they have to do, what that they have to do.
Right.
So there's a long, steep learning curve, I think, coming up for Yamaha, whereas Honda's got that step up. And then, unfortunately, KTM, I, I don't know exactly what to blame it on. In a way, I kind of, if Vinales was healthy, and they were still having struggles, then I would say that it's the bike. But I think again, Vinales was the canary in the coal mine for them. He was the one that was warning them what to do, what not to do. And when
Right.
he got hurt, they had a setup and it worked a little bit. And he's still recovering. And I think until he recovers, they're going to still be struggling to find that setup because realistically, Vinales is the best rider that KTM has right now.
Man, I never thought I'd be hearing those words at the end of the season.
Oh, what, man? Trust me, man.
we we were saying off with their heads at the beginning of the season.
I know.
Yeah, and he's I knew Bastianini wasn't going to be doing all that much on the bike because he was on a factory Ducati, and yeah, he was hurt and everything else, but he should have really never gotten that factory seat to begin with, in my
Oh,
opinion.
oh, come on.
Going back, I
We'll
think
save
there
that for a
was there
different
was
show.
we'll do another show on that whole episode.
Oh,
um,
A
why
whole episode.
factory seat or not?
but and then
Wow.
and Bender has been on KTM forever, and he's just a middling rider. He's never gonna be a champion, man. I hate to say it. I'll put it out there right now. You'll never see Bender's name at the top of that championship trophy ever,
Yeah,
especially if he stays with KTM.
yeah.
If he
I
stays
agree.
with KTM, he's reached his apex of what he can do with KTM.
Right. He should have left when Zarco left.
Dude, real talk right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Real talk right there. He should have pulled the ripcord on that parachute because that plane was going down. Zarko knew it, and Brenda was like, "No, they're taking care of me. I'm getting paid."
Yeah, because like a few years ago, he had a better chance of getting a factory seat or getting on a Ducati bike if he was, But KTM locked him up with that big deal, 3 year, 4 year, whatever deal they got him. So
Yeah, they
locked him up for a
definitely
while.
locked him up.
I mean,
Locked them up back there in the back.
we Africans
Yeah.
still ain't learning.
But I'm earning. That's it.